Hi there, and welcome to the new low-end bass plugin instrument for your MPC standalone and desktop, Subfactory. Subfactory is an exciting new plugin designed solely for adding earth-shattering bass and 808s to your productions. From classic 808s through to motion drone and synth basses, Subfactory allows you full control over the low end in your mix. With cutting-edge presets, 2 wavetable oscillators, and 1 sample layer, more filters and onboard effects, Subfactory is the perfect plugin for your beats and productions. Let's dive into Subfactory. Now, to load up Subfactory, we want to head over to our Sounds button, and here we can go to our browser and we can select the Subfactory plugin. Now we'll see all of the different preset categories that are available that we can play some of the sounds. So we can dive straight into some of our 808 classics. Let's load up another patch. We can step back to our categories and let's go to 808 Creative. You can really hear the saturation on 808. Now, if you hit Edit Instrument, we can now see the interface of Subfactory. Before we dive in, let's have a listen to some of the sounds inside Subfactory mixed with music and go through some of the presets. Let's add some glide to this particular 808. Now let's add this drone bass over this R&B beat. Now, our main screen in Subfactory allows us easy access to our oscillator layers. Here we can see our 2 wavetables, A and B, and our sample layer, along with pitch control and volume for easy access and sound design. Then we have our filter cutoff, our LFO rate, and we have our width for master volume. You can also edit your patches really quickly from this window by simply selecting the oscillator, and now you can go into the oscillator type. So we're on the sample layer. We're going to add some noise. We can just bring the volume down. We'll go to our wavetable, bring the pitch. And now we add glide in our control mode. And then we can just save this as our own user patch. Then we have our control mode on our second tab. Here we can set up our modulation and pitch bend, so we can decide if we want our LFO and our filter to be controlled by the modulation. Then we have our unison mode, so we can add a lot of stereo spread to any of our patches, and we can tell it if we want it to affect A or B oscillator. Then next to this, we have one of the most important features, which is our glide. So we can increase this. And then you can also add legato. Now our next tab is our sub A and B, which are two wavetable oscillators. Under this tab we can access and edit both our oscillators, which can be customized to your liking by selecting any of the presets available. Simply press down on the dial to select your preset, then you have pitch and tune, and then we have index that allows us to influence the shape of our waveform, which you can use with your Q-links. The next tab is our amp envelope, giving you access to delay, attack, decay, release parameters, which influences the amplitude of our sub A and B oscillators. And we can also turn on our curve. Next to this, we have our pitch envelope. Here, we can increase the pitch. That will be influenced by the shape of our envelope. And we have all of our standard controls to change the shape of our envelope. And our last tab is our filter tab here. Again, we can set how much of the filter, we can add a curve, and then we can shape our filter envelope to our liking. The next is our sample layer. This is our third oscillator. Here we can go into our presets and we can select everything from kick, 808 loop, through to shots, through to clicks, to blend in with our two wavetable oscillators. So let's add some noise to this particular sound, which is using our sample layer. If we go back to our main menu, we can see all three layers. So let's go to our volume. We can jump using our Q-links, and we'll just bring down the layer volume. And again, you can change the pitch and everything from the main. So let's go back to sample. We have three different filters here that we can use for the sound. Then we have a dedicated envelope. So again, you can use this to shape the sound of your sample layer. Then you also have an envelope to cutoff select. And we've also added a sidechain to the sample layer that allows you to duck the wavetable oscillators or the oscillators to duck the sound of the sample layer. Now, when you go into the presets, you can see that we've added stuff like kick drums. So again, you can use the transients of this to duck the sound of your 808s from your wavetable to create space in your mix when you're trying to get the low end balance on your production. Then we have our mix and filter tab. Here we can control our volume levels. We can select our different filters out of 12 presets. And we can have two filters, which we can then morph between both of these using our morph control. Just simply use your Q-link, and now you'll see the filter shape change. Then we have our LFO and modulation tab. Here we have 7 LFO shapes to influence our sound further. Here we can have it in sync by changing our divisions. We can turn that off. And then we have curve and fade. Now, to change our LFO shape, just simply press here and then we can go through the presets that are available. Then we have retrigger for retriggering each note played and one shot. Then we have our target LFO page. Here we can select the locations to send our modulation setup. We can select any of our oscillators, our index A and B, and our filter cutoff and filter morph amounts. Then our final tab is our effects tab. Here we have our 4 effects types. We have ring modulation, we have chorus, we have drive, and then we have a master EQ with low, mid, and high. Then we have a soft clipper and a bass mono function. Now, as you can see in here, Subfactory really does give you so much control over sculpturing your own low-end types of bass sounds for your productions. Now, to learn more about MPC plugins, Subfactory, and everything to do with MPC, head over to akipro.com. I'm Andy Mack, and thanks for watching this overview. See you soon. Now let's finish this video with a beat using Sub Factory.